تمسك.
Bird Tiltomad on Almanawi. Esqueto.
Hello. I'm sorry, but I do not speak your language.
Really? Then you are a Renaigse. I have never met one with the bond. Might I do something for you?
What can you tell me about your village?
Wenshavar means the water of the peaks in our language. The sky is our roof, the mountain our cradle, and the birds our companions. They offer us their feathers that we weave with wool to make clothing that is appreciated by the Donegada. And also, of course, it is the village that has given birth to the one chosen for our Hoi King for many cycles. Anything else?
What can you tell me about the High King? You must know him well.
He is a great Donegad. Wise, just, and through him, the Enon Milfrictimen makes their voice be known. But he has been gone for several moons. What the mountain gives us, sometimes it takes away. And I, for one, believe that the mountain has taken him back. Anything else?
Tell me about Sarah.
She is a ferocious warrior. And like I told you, she is the Menundanem, the companion of the Hoi King. They gave themselves one to the other many cycles ago, and their bond is very strong. Perhaps that is why she has left. Because she no longer could bear his absence. Anything else?
I heard talk about a cavern of knowledge.
It is a place where the Donegada go, within the earth. They hear the voices of those that went before them, and they learn. There are some on Tiafradi. The closest to our village is found to the northeast of here, but the entrance is sealed, hidden. It is a sacred place, a place for only the Donegada. Anything else?
Goodbye.
Wa awalan seg.
someone's coming to save you. Give in. Your life is in our hands. It is time to tell us all you know. The sooner you speak, the sooner this will be over with. We should be discreet if we want to eavesdrop on these people.
She's been enduring this punishment for hours, blow upon blow through gritted teeth.
Truly savage beast we have here. Do we even know if it speaks our language?
Leave us.
You will eventually tell us how you found your way into that grotto.
Your defiance is only prolonging the inevitable. You remind me of that rat my master was studying. The creature used all of its fire in an effort to escape. Scratching, twisting, refusing to understand that the cage holding it was its only remaining world. It had everything it could ever need, but it wouldn't stop looking for a way out. Even though its fate was now sealed to serve science. Its animal instinct drove it to flee. It had strangled itself between the bars of its own cage in a final futile attempt to escape. It was an enormous beast and very clever. If it had simply relented, it could have lived peacefully for many years. Instead of that... These monsters are torturing her. Come, we must set her free.
We may be able to reason with them. I could try.
But I recognize this face. Lady de Sade, what a pleasure to see you again. What good wind brings you?
These people are monsters. They just tortured a woman, and then they say hello, as if it were nothing.
I'm sure that they will explain what pushes them to treat her this way.
Believe me, we would never have reached such extremities if she had told us what we wanted. You see, we have been studying these beings that show, like you, such strange markings on their bodies. We call them metamorphs, but the natives call them Onol-Manawi. And we seek to learn through what process they metamorphosize. We heard talk of a cavern of knowledge. The savages hide all of their knowledge within them, and certainly all the secrets that interest us. We discovered one here, but are unable to enter. This woman, she knows how to enter, but as you have witnessed, she refuses to tell us how. To know we are so close to understanding such a fascinating phenomenon, and to be able to do nothing. Let's just say it has made us aggressive.
It's extremely regrettable. Free her. We would like to have a word with her.
She won't tell you anything. Let us handle this. She will give in at some point.
Lady de Sardet has a soft spot for the savages, but she understands the price of knowledge. As proof, she spared my life during our last encounter.
Afra?
I am so ashamed. To think that I worked alongside you. You are not sages. You are worth no more than a band of drunken brutes. And you shame me even more than the others. To think that we left our master's service together because of his cruelty.
You are unfair, Afra. We are so close to making a fantastic discovery. You know that deep down I am not like that.
Then prove it.
Oh, free her now! We shall leave. Nothing more holds us here.
How are you feeling?
Better now. Those Renaigse are absolute monsters. But who are you? You too are a Renaigse. Why have you freed me?
We were told at Wand4l that you and you alone could tell us where to find High King Vinbar.
I wish I knew where he was right now. He bid me farewell weeks ago and he has not returned. I waited a long time and then I came here. To enter into the Cavern of Knowledge.
You believe that this is where he is hiding?
No. But he came here often before he disappeared. I'm hoping to find answers. You saved me. And so I must help you as well. You may come with me. The Cave of Knowledge is a bit further north. Here is the entrance to the Cavern of Knowledge. I hope that Vinbar has left a clue to where he went. Something I could track.
Is it your wish to join him?
He is my Manundanem. That means the one who shares my mind in your language. We must be reunited.
I understand. But why protect the entrance to the cavern at the risk of your own life?
The Caverns of Knowledge are truly sacred places. Only the Doneigada have the right to enter.
But you are not a Doneigad. Is that right?
I am not. But I must enter in spite of everything. And since you have helped me, you may enter as well. Even if I am not sure I can trust you. Because you spared these people. Remind yourself that this honor is immense and show respect. I implore you.
Put your fears to rest. We have not come to defile this sacred place. How do we enter?
Allow me. I have seen Vinbar make these movements so many times.
paint of this fresco is still fresh. It must have been painted recently. It's of a crowned man. Vinbar, no doubt. It looks as if he is walking through the skies towards the volcano. A face has been painted on the volcano.
The spirit of the mountain. My heart did not betray me. Vinbar has readied himself to join Enon Milfrichtemen.
Was that why you came in here? To confirm that supposition?
To understand, yes. As the years passed, my Minundanem grew more and more distant to me. I thought at first it was due to his status and the invasion of the Renaigse. But now I see that he was hearing the call of Enon Milfrichtemen. He had no choice but to answer it. Oh, Vinbar, why did you not share this with me?
These paintings are older. This looks like it represents a man who transforms himself into some kind of enormous bird.
He is a Donegad, becoming a Nadaig Meneman. Vinbar was also bound to the mountain. It is no doubt the path he has chosen to follow.
If I understand correctly, the Donegad are metamorphed differently according to the place they are bound.
Yes. The Sinolmenawi bind them to a specific place, and in return they become the Guardians. But how could a Guardian of the Plains resemble a Guardian of the Mountains?
Do you believe that Vinbar is readying himself to undergo this transformation? I thought it was a very slow process.
For some, it takes years. At least this is what is said. For others, it might take place the very moment where the Donegad surrenders to Enol Milfrichtemen. I hope only to have the time to bid him farewell.
Given how well hidden this seed was, it must open an important passage. All we have to do is find out which. This mural is also ancient. It seems to show a doorway into the mountain. It seems that this door is just in front of a circle of stone. There are 2 altars and 2 seeds.
The Donegada seal certain sacred places with root doors.
Yes, I have run into similar barriers. It's all a matter of finding the right seed. But here, there are 2 that seem to be different. For one, the flower motifs seem to indicate which plant is required.
This is possible. The caverns of knowledge are used to initiate and transmit the knowledge of the Donegada. This painting must teach the younger how to reach the sacred place, where they will bind themselves.
In that case, shouldn't there be an illustration of the second plant?
The initiates also learn by listening to their masters.
On this one we see a sacred site with raised stones. And behind the face of the volcano, we also see a path that leads there. Like some sort of schematic.
This must certainly be the path the young apprentices must walk. And the Donegada that are prepared to surrender themselves to Enolmir Frichtmen.
Do you recognize the place where the entrance can be found?
I think so. It looks like the grotto that lies to the northwest of our village.
With all that we have learned from studying these paintings, we should be able to find Vinbar. I just hope there is still enough of him left to answer us.
What do you hope to ask of him?
We hope that he will agree to take us into the sanctuary of Dorhad Genadu.
What do you hope to ask of him? Why would the Renaig say? It matter not. My head spins. I will wait for you outside.
Please, go ahead. We will join you shortly.
Am I the only one to think this woman's departure is suspicious?
Sarah is upset, and I don't think that she trusts us. We should hurry and catch up to her.
This door is locked. Sarah has put us in a very tricky situation.
We should have noticed that she did not trust us. Well, let's search. There must be another exit to this cave.
These traps weren't here when we went through with Sarah earlier.
She must have set them to make sure that we wouldn't be able to follow her.
Let's hurry and find this passage to the northern mountain before she decides to come and fight us directly. This is the place which was depicted on the mural in the Cave of Knowledge. In fact, Vinbar visibly went through this passage not long ago.
Watch out! Grenade!
We've made it to high ground. Now, let's find this trail to the sanctuary. It can't be far from here. Bloodied feathers.
They are extremely long. I know of no species of bird that sports such plumage.
Looks like Vinbar must have begun his transformation. He will soon become a guardian of the mountains. More of these giant feathers. We're on the right trail. Over there, more feathers. We found the entrance to the sanctuary. Vinbar must be here. I hope he'll agree to help us enter the heart of the mountain. All that remains is to find a way to get in. This must be the entrance to Vinbar's sanctuary. But it is obstructed. He knows how to protect his home. A stone altar. It resembles the one that protects the passage to Mev's sanctuary. This must be where I need to place the seed. And here is another altar. Are 2 seeds necessary to open the passage? How can we learn which plant seed is required?
Vinbar was distant. He spoke little. Only one person shared both his love and his secrets.
You are right. We need to find this Sarah. The seed that I have is not enough. I need to find Sarah. She might be able to help. Let's return to the village. The seed that I have is not enough. I need to find Sarah. She might be able to help. Let's return to the village. Sarah doesn't seem to have returned to her village. Someone here might know where to find her.
These village folk are not the talkative type. It would be a waste of time.
We must find Constantine. The High King can wait. This is the camp that Constantine's escort must have established.
It looks more like a battlefield. I hope the Donegad and your cousin survived the fight.
Search the area. Let's see if we can find any clues as to what happened here. Most of the weapons are missing. Our soldiers wouldn't have taken a rest without defenses. The tents are lacerated by what looks like claws. And there are traces of blood everywhere. Some of these men must have been attacked in their sleep. By beasts? Our soldiers were attacked by surprise, and animals were amongst the assailants. However, our men reacted properly. They were armed and they fled as best they could. There are no bodies, and no sign of the presence of Constantine or Katasak. Perhaps they were in another place, and the soldiers wanted to join them. We need to follow the tracks. This area has been trampled. An entire stampede passed by here. Our soldiers must have fled the area and taken this path followed by their assailants. This is a sacred place of a native cult. No doubt this is where Katasak and Constantine were going.
It isn't really a place of a cult, but rather a place of anchoring. A place where Donegada perform a ritual to become Sinol Menawi. These places are charged with great energy. Perhaps Katasak wanted to use it to bring relief to your cousin.
Perhaps. But there are bodies, and without a doubt there was fighting here. Search the place. Let's see what we are able to find. The corpses of both men and beasts. These soldiers fought dearly to the end. Neither Constantine nor Katasak are amongst them. The crater, without a doubt caused by an explosive potion. The soldiers might have been carrying them. They must have been desperate to have taken such drastic measures. This blade is a native ritual knife, and this bowl contained a potion. Someone wanted to perform a ritual here. Could Katasak have found a better means to alleviate Constantine's symptoms? Constantine and Katasak must have been visiting this place, perhaps performing some sort of healing ritual. When the attack took place, the soldiers intervened and many fell during the fight, but a group escaped down this path. We need to continue following their tracks. More tracks. Footprints. The ones who got away fled this way. Strange. These trees look half calcinated, as if they were exposed to immense heat. These weapons are in terrible condition. Whatever did these men come up against? Another burnt tree. This path seems to have been scorched in flames. Signs of an explosion. Can't believe that our soldiers could be carrying so many explosive potions. These poor soldiers were torn to pieces. Animals again? Or something else? New footprints. It looks as if a group met up with them and took this path. There was more fighting over here. There are not only corpses of our own men. Where could these other soldiers have come from? More signs of explosions. But what were they doing with all these explosives on them? There are footprints. Only a handful made it up here. The path stops on this overhang, and despite signs of a skirmish, I can't see any sign of Constantine or Katazak. These rocks were broken, as if they had taken cannon fire. But what could have happened here? I don't recognize these men. Still more unknown soldiers. Could they have been responsible for the attack? This one is carrying a letter. Let's see. These vials look familiar. Katazak used the very same to stock his potions. He came all the way here. I'm going to pick them up. I recognize this sack. It's my cousin's. Oh, Constantine. What have you gotten yourself into again? According to this note, these men come from a nearby camp. An old outpost of the Alliance taken over by the Coin Guard. They could well have decided to finish what they had planned in New Serene. Very well. Let's sum things up. Constantine and Katazak definitely came through here to perform some sort of ritual. But they were attacked. An attack obviously involving wild animals. And then there are these traces of inexplicable flames. Could it be magic?
You cannot suspect my people are behind this attack. You have strayed far from the path. No one would have attacked Katasach.
Unless he himself was behind it. He's a powerful Donegad. The beasts obey him.
How could you even think something like that? He is a healer. He brought comfort to your cousin.
Perhaps he only did it to gain our trust. With Constantine captive, he can now apply leverage to the colonists and force them to accept his conditions. But in all truth, I have no idea what to think. Regardless of who is guilty, I must find my cousin. Perhaps we could return to Wand4l72 in order to learn more. Katazak may have returned there. His Voglendyke might be able to tell us where to find him. We are also going to have to visit the outpost. Their soldiers participated in the combat. Or at least the end of it. They must have some stories to tell us.
And you think that they would have taken Constantine? Is that possible? Maybe he was in need of treatment. But if you suspect them to have participated in the combat to capture him, I think you're wasting your time. I know the captain of that outpost. A pessimistic man who would never order an attack without being absolutely certain of total victory without losses.
Perhaps. Unless he was simply obeying orders. It does belong to the Coin Guard, after all. However, one way or another, Constantine is in danger. Let us be on our way without further delay.
colonials. You must have gotten lost to have come this far from nowhere. To whom do I owe the honor?
De Sardet. I am legate of the Congregation of Merchants on this island.
A legate? Here? Pardon my dismay, but we don't get many official sorts around here. I am Captain Idris, of the Coin Guard. I am the ranking officer in charge of this outpost. What can I do for you, milady?
I am looking for Constantin d'Orsay, the island governor of the Congregation of Merchants.
A governor? Here? Whatever would he be doing in this rat hole?
My cousin was part of an expedition in this region. His men and his camp were attacked. They nearly all died. But we found no trace of his body, which has us hoping that he may still be alive, wounded and holding up somewhere, or even captured.
Have you cast your suspicions in our direction? I hope this is a joke. We've had neither reinforcements nor supplies for weeks. In my book, we've been totally forgotten. I wouldn't risk the few lives remaining to attack a governor's camp. I'm not crazy. I'm truly sorry for your cousin, Excellency, but we haven't seen him. And we definitely haven't kidnapped him. The region is dangerous. The natives are heartless. You should be looking in their direction.
You do know that we found the bodies of several men from the garrison up there, don't you?
How could you be sure?
One of them was carrying a note, signed by your hand.
And they are dead. I had hoped they'd have survived and would eventually return.
Explain yourself, Captain. What were your men doing on the cliff top?
They were monitoring the zone. They were to warn us of any troop movements. We have lost too many men to surprise attacks. We decided to take initiative and be ready. Yesterday, we heard screams and saw some strange lights up there. But I was hoping...
And you didn't go and see for yourself? You hear screams, certainly those of your own men, and you don't do anything?
So the last of my men give up their lives for nothing as well? You can think of me as a coward if you like. But me, I'm taking no more unnecessary risks.
Why do I have the feeling that you're holding something back from me?
Captain, my name is Afra, you might remember me. I passed by this outpost with my fellow scholars.
The Lost Expedition. Yes, I remember.
Her Excellency was able to extract us from the situation we found ourselves in.
Her Excellency has powers that I do not possess.
I'm casting no stones at you. You are isolated and without resources, and understandably a bit angry. You have the feeling that the powerful of this world have abandoned you, and you want to make them pay. But a life hangs in the balance. We must save him.
You were right. I will tell you everything I know. One of the men I posted there returned during the night.
A survivor. Excellent. Did he tell you what happened?
He wasn't able to say a word. He collapsed unconscious 2 steps past the doorway. Our nurse sits with him, but there is little hope that he will come back to himself. His wounds are extremely serious. He's just refusing to die.
I am sorry to hear that, Captain. Perhaps we could do something for him.
Go and see the nurse. Perhaps you can do something to help the poor boy. I can't take it anymore. To lose another man. Anything else?
Concerning the young man that survived.
Did you see the nurse?
Not yet.
Really? I thought that your cousin's life hung in the balance. This boy will not survive long if someone doesn't help him. Anything else?
I need to be going.
I would very much like to do the same. Safe journey, Your Excellency.
What are you doing there? This is an infirmary!
I know. I've come to see the wounded soldier. The captain told me you might need my help.
That is very kind of him. But alas, it's a little late.
What are you saying? Is the soldier...
No, he still lives. But I've been asking the captain for weeks to escort me on a mission to replenish my stocks. I no longer have a single remedy. And now that we have a wounded patient, I can only wipe water on his brow and hope.
Do you know what type of remedy would allow him to survive?
Yes, at least I think so. It's a known potion that heals burns.
I see. Give me the recipe. We'll go and see that it's prepared for you.
Thank you. Because of you, this poor boy might be able to survive his wounds. Were you able to concoct the potion against burns?
Yes, I was. Might we administer it?
Give it to me. I'll take care of this. We must wait and be patient now.
Will he make it?
I hope so. We'll know soon enough. This potion is extremely potent.
And if he survives, when could we speak to him?
Come back tomorrow at the same time. We'll know more then.
Very well. I'll come back tomorrow.
See you soon. And thank you again for your help.
Hello, soldier. How are you doing?
Better. A lot better. Are you the one who saved me? The nurse told me.
I simply prepared the potion that she told me how to make. Nothing more. Could you tell me what happened during the attack?
I will try. They're not really memories I'm fond to bring back. A lot of my friends died up there. We were posted up on the peak to follow rebel movement. It had been a couple of days when we heard sounds of fighting not far from our position. Men were screaming in our own language. So we went to see what was happening. Soldiers of the Coin Guard and an islander were trying to protect a young man. He seemed dire ill.
Konstantin Katasak and his escort. Who were they fighting against?
Dozens of wild animals. They seemed completely enraged and intent on devouring them. And there were flames.
Flames? Where were they coming from?
I don't know. My friends and other soldiers fell one after the other. I didn't see everything. All was blood and confusion with beasts and fire. But I thought I saw another islander. Big. He's the one who took the sickened man. There was practically no one left on the battlefield. I was wounded and I passed out. I came to when I heard voices of islanders approaching. rebels. I thought to myself, they're coming to finish off the wounded. I got up with difficulty and fled. I dragged myself here. And you know the rest.
I'm going to have to go and find these rebels.
You shouldn't do that. They killed all of my friends. You take a great risk.
That's enough. Rest now. You're still far from having recovered.
Yes. It's best I leave you now. I've learned enough. I'll have a word with your captain. Goodbye.
Excellency, I was told that you saved my soldier. Thank you. You can't imagine what this means to us.
Please. I did nothing more than follow the instructions your nurse gave me.
Did you learn what you needed to learn?
Yes. I was able to question your man, and he told me what he saw. He and his company heard sounds of the attack, and they went to investigate. My cousin's escort were nearly annihilated by animals that jumped out from all sides. A strange sorcerer controlled them. It was he that took my cousin.
One of those rebel savages, no doubt. I knew that they'd be behind all of this. They must have learned that an important man was in the region and thought he would make the perfect hostage. I'm sorry. I would give you some men, but...
Don't apologize. I know where the camp can be found, and if my cousin is there, I will free him.
Like you freed the scholars. You're a good woman, Excellency. Thank you again for saving my soldier.
I need to be going.
I would very much like to do the same. Safe journey, Your Excellency.
Dara Grimmer
Hello.
Renaigse, there you are again. What do you want?
To speak to you about my cousin's capture and the massacre of his escort. A soldier from the nearby outpost survived and told us that you were present on the battlefield.
You dare come here and accuse us of taking him? Let me throw him out this Renaigse and his Ilkteren. May they receive this punishment for their arrogance.
I know that you see us as your enemies, but we are not here to harm you. I only seek to find the man I consider to be my brother, as well as the man who was protecting him. Katasak, one of your greatest Donegad.
No Donea Exregao would attack Katasak.
If you didn't attack him, you must know what happened to them. I was told that an islander took my cousin away. Perhaps your men were there to aid them.
We do not have your cousin, and we do not know what happened to him. As for Katasak, and the worst, Tire, he died from his wounds. That night, we heard the sounds of a terrible combat. The ground shook all the way to our homes. We went to see, but we arrived too late. The last breath of Katasak had returned to the wind when we arrived there, and many of the Renaigse were dead. We could do no more. We carried the body of the Donegad and brought it here.
He gave his life to protect Constantine. May he rest in peace. This request might surprise you, but we would like to see him.
Why? What do you want to do with him, Renaigse?
Examine him, to understand what killed him. We were told that an island native was there, and that he likely led the attack.
No Donea Exregao would attack Katasak. You have been lied to, or they were mistaken.
That is the very reason I need to see his body. To understand.
You may see him. But if you desecrate his body, you will pay for this offense with your life.
Katasak. Seeing the state of his body, I hate myself for having suspected him. Forgive me, Donegad, to have doubted your loyalty. And even more for what we are about to do. Now then. Let's see what story this corpse has to tell.
I can give a detailed examination of the corpse. It is a task that I have been trained to perform.
I gladly cede the privilege.
We note a great number of large, blunt force contusions, covering the entire surface of the victim's body. None of the wounds could be attributed to a blade or a spear, nor are there any visible bullet entry points. Practically every bone has been broken in multiple places. The rib cage was torn open and then collapsed. The open wound reveals multiple perforations of the vital organs. Here, the borders of the wounds have been singed. The flesh is blackened, exposed to a flame, no doubt. And we also note several patches of mineral residue. They seem oddly out of place in spite of the exotic insular origin of our deceased. I would be hard-pressed to tell you which of the wounds proved to be the fatal blow, but one thing is certain.
He was smashed violently by a giant rock that was without a doubt on fire.
Yes. These wounds are similar to those given by a heated cannon shot, though in a less regular fashion.
The dead soldiers we found had identical wounds. As crazy as this may sound, whoever is responsible for this attack is capable of wielding molten rock.
In any other circumstance, your conclusion would qualify you for an asylum. But I stand on the side of the improbable. The natives' powers reside outside the body of knowledge we possess.
I can't imagine an Adaig behaving like this. It is not their way. That they might attack careless hunters or warriors, true, but to attack Katasach, the power to call volcano fires, could only be that of a guardian. No simple man wields mountain fire.
We still don't really know who is actually behind this attack, nor what they want. Judging by the severity of these wounds, I fear the worst for Constantine.
All your experiments. You've learned so little. You've learned to fear. Your instincts should have been enough.
We had to at least try. Are you not even concerned? Or angered by what happened to Katasach?
We've grown accustomed to the loss of lives, your relentless attacks and incessant treacheries. All the same, there is truth in your words. This attack is out of place. Guardian and Donegad would never attack one another. There is a ritual that might help us. Anatalas Fair.
The Anatalas Fair? What is it? Tell me more.
It is a magical rite that only a person with a powerful bond to both spirits and nature can perform. It allows the Donegad who chants it to relive the last...
That would allow us to at least see the face of his assassin.
If what I have heard is true, yes. To my knowledge, only one Donegad still living knows the ritual.
Let's ask her for her help, then. She might be able to tell us what has become of Constantine.
You are quick to ask another to put her mind in danger for your own concerns. Imagine the pain of the wounds of another, shaking your body as the cold of death crushes your beating heart. This is what you must ask of the Tiernahach. It is the price she must pay for performing the ritual. When her companion was lost in battle, fighting against your own, she wanted to live that death beside her. Since that day, our Tiernahach Kadachtas has never breathed air with the same breath.
That would explain her distrust of the colonials.
You must make her see your purpose. It may be the only way you are going to learn the fate of your cousin.